Oh, he's walked behind it. Good lad. Oh, he's there.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, God, that's good. Hello everybody, welcome to Chaz Draycott Media and welcome to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today we're having the third flight in a row in the Airbus A321. Thank you to Scott Green for chartering today's flight. It's been great to see so many charters come in for the A321 and see it getting some love. Today we're flying for Jet 2 and we're going from London Stansted Airport this morning down to Geneva in Switzerland. It's going to be an interesting flight, this one. I've flown into Geneva before and I really like it there. It's a big old airport. So too is Stansted. It can be quite busy. But we're in Hotel Lima Yankee Foxtrot, one of the A321 CEOs that Jet 2 run. I think in real life now it's got the winglets on it, it's got the sharklets on it, but even still, that doesn't really matter too much. I'm excited to get back in this thing, and obviously we're running on CFM engines this time instead of the IAEs that we were on in the Wizz Air flights we'd just done previously. So, let's jump into the cockpit without further ado and get on with it, shall we? As always, I'm using my VATSIM scratchpad that I've made. There's a link to that in the description, and I'll also be using a checklist that I got off FlightSim.to for the Phoenix Airbus, for the fly-by-wire A320neo, but obviously the same principles apply to the A320, the 19 and the 21. We're on stand 21 today, quite fittingly, over on the sort of western side of Stansted Airport, and very soon we're going to be connecting to VATSIM. Doesn't look like, according to Volanta, that there's any air traffic control on at the moment, which is a bit of a shame, but I'm used to using air traffic control at the moment, as yesterday I just got back from doing World Flight with the team over at Team Velocity UK, Velocity Flight Training, in their fixed base 737 simulator. It was an incredible day. I'm hoping to make a video on that very soon. I didn't record anything myself, but I'm hoping to use tidbits of the stream and everything else to just produce a highlights reel, so to speak, and that should be a lot of good fun. We are Chanex 5 Sierra Golf today, and we're going to get everything prepared. So we'll go battery switches 1 and 2. Love the noises in this thing. Crew oxygen supply, navs left, right and centre. Strobe light goes to auto, nav and logo light comes on. No smoking signs come on, and we'll arm the emergency exitas. We'll put the outer tanks on, and we'll get over to the iPad and get our flight data imported. There we go. We are a little bit late this morning because admittedly I started this video at Geneva like an idiot when I was just testing the scenery at Geneva. We're going to be Chanex 5 Sierra Golf today, and we're starting our day in Geneva. We're going to be flying down. No, we're not starting in Geneva. I know what I've done wrong. Bear with me. I then got prepared to start the video and do everything from there like an absolute moron. So, yeah, unfortunately, we are running a little bit late here. We're going to put that on 1006 into standard, put the constraints on. Everything is getting going. We've not had the beep from the fire things yet. They should come up in a moment. Do an init request, get the flight number in. We are going to be, there it is, we're going to be EXS5 Sierra Golf, Chanex. And we're going to be, what are we going to be cruising at today? I need to check on my flight plan. 35,000 feet today, 350 on the flight plan. And the cost index is 56. That's a beautiful cost index. They must have just said, wow, stuff it, get cracking, son. Oh, love a bit of that. Let's make sure that we have GSX boarding us. Get everything requested. Don't know why, but my coatal sounds are always really quiet for some reason. Need to make sure they're turned up so you can hear all the wonderful noises from GSX. Okay, we can continue on through the checklist. We've done everything that we need to, really. We just need to make sure that we get the fuel on board. So we need to go to the mass and balance. We need to load the aircraft. We'll do it instantly, and then we'll send that to the MCDU. That has put the block and everything in. That's got our initial weight in and all that sort of beautiful stuff. Cool. We can then do our takeoff speeds in a little bit. Actually, no, what we need to do first is put in our flight plan. So from Stansted today, we are going to be on, I need to load up the charts because I forgot to do that, CLN. Does it say what it's called? Is there a name for it? Clacton. We're on the Clacton 2 Echo. departure from runway, was that 22? I'm pretty sure it was 22, wasn't it? Yes, runway 22. Pop that in. And on the arrival into Geneva, at present we are planned to be on the ILS for runway 04 via the Akito to November. ILS 04, Akito to November. Is there an approach via? There should be. Transition is Akito. Let's just do approach via. Okay, no via apparently. Just check for discontinuities. Scroll all the way down. Okay. Passengers are boarded already. That was fast, wasn't it? Yeah. A discontinuity between there and Indis. We'll see what the distance is like on the way in. Let me just grab that on the... we can't put it on the plan screen yet because it's not working. It's not been aligned, so yeah, we can't do that just yet. Turn those down a little bit. And we'll just, yeah, wait for the IR aligned. Does it say how long? 3 minutes left to go before they're fully aligned. Going to make sure we got our squawk set. Yep, we're going to go on to TA. We're squawking 2000 at the moment. Lock the cockpit door, put the predicted wind shear on. Get this ready for when she calls up to us. We're on 122.8. And now we are fueled. We can put the central fuel tanks on. We can also put the passenger seatbelt signs on, get them all sat down. We need to close the cargo doors because this plane is a pain in the backside and you have to do it manually. We also need to close that door. And we will prepare for pushback and departure in just a few moments' time. Just going to check on the charts because we can do this now on Navigraph. Pop that on. Is there anyone pushing back in the vicinity here? No. But yeah, as you can see, we're doing a lovely left turn once we get out of Stansted and heading on down. We've still not got the IR aligned, but when we do, I'm going to pop this to plan and we're going to go on 40 miles. Actually, we'll stay on 20. Oh, we can see it on the plan. That's fine. That's alright. I thought we had to wait for the plan to line up as well. So you'll see we get down here. So Sovad, Kerad, GG503, and then it's manual to Indis. So we need to basically just turn in when we can. We had that, I think last time we flew in the 737, I can't quite remember, but we had a similar thing last time where we just waited to turn in when we got to our opportunity to, you know, when was suitable with our altitude and our speed. 6,000 feet at Clacton, so we're going to put that in here. That's going to be our initial climb today. We're not going to have ATC online to speak to us and tell us what to do, so we're just going to have to make our own way. Going to turn the PFD and the ND down a little bit, so we're a bit bright in here this morning. Looks like we've got IR aligned now, which is good. Sounds good to me. We need to get our takeoff speeds. Let's do our departure perf, sync the load sheet, sync the weather, calculate, send home TDU. It is that easy, everybody. Not always. 148 is the V-speed today. We're going to be flaps 2 for takeoff. We have got the jetway disconnected now. We'll get back our flight information on here. There's nobody online here, and as I was speaking to Riyadh about it during the World Flight video, he was saying that, you know, if there's nobody here, no point really speaking. I agree with him, but it's a good habit to get into. Let's turn the APU on, shall we? Let's get that started, and then we can disconnect the external power before we push back. Okie dokie, we'll wait for APU available on here and then we'll disconnect the ground power and get ready for push and start. Thanks again to Scott Green for chartering today's flight. Very, very pleased to be back in the A321. I always love flying this thing. I tail struck the 737 the other day, so hopefully none of that to come here today. Let's just do our before start checklist. So windows and doors are all closed. Beacon light is going to come on in a moment. Thrust levers are definitely idle. We've got the parking brake on, APU and APU bleed, and external power has been disconnected. I'm going to go up top and whack the beacon light on. I think that's going to tell GSX that we're ready for pushback and departure. I think it has done. Yep, because here is our ground operative. Don't walk through the jetway. Oh, he's walked behind it. Good lad. Oh, he's there.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, God, that's good. Oh, he is going to walk through it, bless him. He's banged his head.
Bypass pin inserted.
great accent that is.
Stansted traffic, Chenex 5 Sierra Golf preparing to push back, stand 2-1.
Squawking to 000, flight level 350. Block fuel today is 7572. I should have done my paperwork a bit earlier, but it is what it is. QNH 1006. Cost index, I can't believe it's 56 today. That's mad, isn't it? Big old cost index. Pushing back from stand 2-1. And we are going to push back onto B middle. We're then going to taxi to runway 22 via Bravo Hotel and hold short at Romeo 3. So Bravo Hotel Romeo, Romeo 3 for runway 22. Smash him. We're going to be nose left, nose right, tail left. Release parking brakes. Push has been commenced.
Clear. Start at will.
Start at will. Okay, so down here to engine ignition. Let's get that started. What else was there to do? Nothing. Beautiful. Okay, so ignition and start. Let that left engine spool up slightly. Oh yeah, we don't have to, we haven't actually set it to spool up, have we? Oh, lordy. Okay, engine number 1 coming on.
Please set parking brakes.
Will do. Parking brakes set.
Gear.
Cheers, Chief. Sounds like he knows what he's doing, this bloke, doesn't he? Okie dokie. That engine is all good. We've got available on there. So now we're going to go down here and we're going to start engine number 2.
Behind you. Emergency lighting will guide you to an
Tow
exit.
truck
In
disconnected.
an
Bypass
emergency,
pin removed.
leave all baggage on board. Your seatbelt
Left
is
is
fastened,
clear. Right is
adjusted,
clear.
and released as shown.
There he goes, just saying goodbye. He's going to wave us the pin. Cheers, mate. Beautiful. We've got available on the right-hand engine now, so we can now go back to normal mode on the engine mode. We can turn off the APU, bleed, and then master. So we've started the engines. Back to normal. Flaps get set. We're going to be flaps 2 today. We're going to come down here and we're going to arm the speed brakes. Going to pull them up. Beautiful. Yep, APU bleed and master switch was next up. Rudder trim, let's just make sure that's definitely set to 0 on resets. Runway turn-offs, nose light on, and then brake test as we get moving. So, let's let everybody know what we're going to be doing.
Stansted traffic, Chenex 5 Sierra Golf taxiing runway 22 by Bravo Hotel Romeo.
Parking brake off. I'm going to put the taxi light on, and runway turn-offs on as well, because why not? Thanks once again, Scott Green, for chartering today's flight. Delightful to be controlling the A321 for you, mate. Hope you enjoy this one. It's lovely to be back on some thrust levers that are really light as well, actually, because like I say, I was flying the 737 just the other day and it had the real motorised levers in it. Now we need to get onto Bravo middle, don't we? We're on, at the moment, we're on Bravo West, I think it is. But yeah, I was using the full motorised thrust levers on the 737, and by God, they are heavy. They are ridiculously heavy. It's so cool, though. We're going to be going Bravo. It's our second right onto Hotel, and then it's our first left to go onto Romeo. Okay, we're going to have to hold short on Romeo for just a moment so we can sort everything out. There we go, the aircraft is ready. Auto brakes on max. Takeoff config test. Takeoff config test is normal, so we could probably get straight on with this, and I think we ought to.
Stansted traffic, Chenex 5 Sierra Golf lining up runway 22 via Romeo.
Let's get landing lights on. Up here, strobe goes on, nose light goes to takeoff. Very British weather at the moment. Checking in at Geneva, it's 1014 at the moment. There was no rain. It was nice and dry when I just loaded in a moment ago. Long old aircraft, the A321, so you need to be very mindful of that. On to runway 22 we go. Let's turn the range down on this so we can see the departure properly. Get it up to 50%.
Stansted traffic, Chenex 5 Sierra Golf departing runway 22.
Let's go. Okay. Oh, lovely noises. Manflex 56, SRS runway, auto thrust is blue. A little bit of right rudder to keep it on the centre line. Building up speed beautifully. Going past 100 knots now. 110. 120. We're going so fast the rain can't hit us. 140, still quite a lot of rudder to the right. V1, rotate. Gentle, slow rotation once again. I'm always very mindful of that in the A321. Positive rate of climb, gear up. Look at all the rain over there. Wow. A lot of it will be quite suddenly going on to this departure. Turn to the left. Make sure we keep that square in the middle. Brilliant. Very tidy.
Stansted traffic, Channel X5 Sierra Golf, passing 1,500 feet. Have a good day.
Stick to the screen. There's the left turn. Let's not overdo it. And I've overdone it. Lever into climb. God, I tell you, it's so effortless now doing this on such a light plastic stick and throttle levers, or thrust levers, whatever you want to call them, because it was so heavy to fly that 737 around, and with a yoke as well. It was very exciting. Passing S speed now, but I'm just going to hold off on bringing the flaps up. We're going to keep giving it flap 1 until we complete this turn. God, it's a miserable day. Very miserable day. Let's flick the seatbelt signs on and off, alert the cabin. It's a little bit of simulation that I enjoy. Then we're going to level out. Nice. Aircraft should continue to speed up, just not quite at flap 0. We've reached speed now. Yeah, we're going to go flaps clean. Aircraft winds back the throttle quite a lot. God, look at this miserable weather, man. Still on this long left turn. We're going to straighten out very shortly. I've got a very sweaty hand on that stick. We do need to climb a little bit more. We need to level it out. Get back on that. Okay, the speed goes from 220 to 250 now. And we're going to come over and put the autopilot in. Climbing up to 6,000 feet. We're going to carry on that climb though. We're going to ask the aircraft to go all the way up to our cruising altitude then of 35,000 feet. We'll get it to do that as managed, so we'll put that in. The altitude constraint is going to hold us here at 4,000 feet, and then we're going to get up to 6,000. So, after takeoff checklist then, we've had the landing gear up, flaps have been retracted, packs are on, speed brakes are disarmed. We need to turn the nose light off and the runway turn-offs off as well. Landing lights stay on until 5,000 feet. I did put the strobe light on, didn't I? Seatbelt signs can come off now. Okay, beauty shot time. It is very, very British weather up here today, isn't it? Quite a low cloud base, and yeah, a very grey scene. There's a hell of a lot of rain coming down over there. Glad we're not going through that. We've just got through the restriction. Listen. Oh yeah, listen to those CFMs growl their way up to 5,000 feet. What's transition altitude on the 6,000 feet? Departure, that's the word, isn't it? Kept our landing lights on, I'll put the clock on. Block time today is 1 hour 52 minutes, airtime 1 hour and 24. We'll be making our right turn to head down south, but then not long after that we are going to be going quite far east again, around France. I'll show you. If you look on Volanta at our route here, we go south, but then we go all the way around to get away from Paris Charles de Gaulle traffic. You can see where the World Flight convoy is up to, look. It's certainly quite the queue of planes. I had such a good time with the guys yesterday. They are Neptune 11 Whiskey. There they are, from Tolmakevo to Yakutsk. Quite a long sector, that one, I think. We're at 6,000 feet now, so we're going to go into standard pressure, and we're going to remind the aircraft that we want 35,000 feet. It knows that. We've got quite the crosswind as well. Look at that, 41 knots at the moment. We are on TA only. I should have put that to TARA. What a naughty boy. Oh well, it is what it is. But yeah, not a bad start to the flight at all. This, loving it. how good is that CFM buzzsaw noise? Makes an amazing racket, doesn't it? Sounds absolutely brilliant. So we're going to make a little right turn at Nonva in a moment. We're just getting to 10,000 feet now, so the landing lights will come off. Seatbelt signs are already off as well. Fantastic news. A lovely start to our flight today. Just going over the English Channel now. No, we're not actually. We're not going over the English Channel just yet. We're just going to go over this part here, over Abtum. We're going to turn right and go over there. Then we're going to go over the channel. So, bit of time yet. Okay, just getting now to Abtum. We're going to make our long, sweeping left turn around to Conan as we head east over the channel. Like I say, we're not going directly south on this journey, which is very strange, but we're going east over to Dunkirk and then around Paris because this flight route has to avoid all of the traffic going into Paris, unfortunately. I'm going to switch over my checklist on this side and just make sure that we now monitor everything all the way up to climb at the top at 35,000 feet. The cost index today is very tasty though. I'm really pleased with that. I mean, cost index 56 on the perf is absolutely beautiful. It does know that we're going to flight level 350, doesn't it? We'll go to the prog page. Yes, it knows 350. Top of descent, we're 400 miles away, 11:44 UTC. The UK is now back on UTC. We are now back again. Are we ahead of it or behind it? I can't remember. But we were ahead of it or behind it. I can't quite figure it out. And now we've lined up with GMT again, so no BST for us, which is beautiful. Makes life a little bit easier with flight planning then as well. So in about an hour we'll get top of descent, but for now we need to focus on top of climb. 11:06 at 350, so yeah, 16 minutes until we get right up to that cruising altitude. So I'm going to make sure I stay here and monitor and be a good boy. Past 20,000 feet now, and we're just about to make another left turn here at Conan as we head past VOR at Koch and then down past Ferdy. Getting up out of the clouds now. We've got a bit more to go through, but once we get above this we'll be up above the layer and into the pretty blue skies and with nothing to worry about in terms of visibility. Still climbing at 1,300 feet a minute, so a very steady climb up this morning. Feeling good about this one, thoroughly enjoying it so far. An ironic Mach number for just a moment there as we were Mach 737. But yeah, thank you once again, Scott Green. I hope you're enjoying this charter here today, mate. It's got a little bit simpler now for me to fly the A321 and stuff, but at the end of the day things can still go wrong, and I hope that you still enjoy me doing these flights, and everybody watching, I hope you all enjoy them. It's really good fun to do these. There's some beautiful breaks in these clouds here. You can see we've got this sort of valley of cloud around us right now. Since turning my graphics settings up and everything and going onto this new PC and running it on high, it is so beautiful, isn't it? There's a few bits here and there where you see a few particles and things where the clouds aren't perfect, but it's a difficult thing to do in a game, is clouds. And I think that even on high, you know, this isn't even on ultra, it still looks mighty, mighty impressive. And that's the main reason I'm not really switching over to 2024. I know I could do, but people still find bugs with 2024. This PC runs 2020 so effortlessly. I've got the aircraft that I want. The aircraft that I want in future will still be available for this, and I can still fly online at no deficit to other people that are flying on 2024 and on X-Plane and other things. Because of VATSIM, you can fly on whatever. You know, you could be on Flight Sim X 2010 or whatever it was, and you'd still be able to fly on here, which is one of the best things, I think. We have traffic at the moment. Aircraft going either side of us. They are over 7,000 feet above though, so nothing to worry about at this current stage. I'm just going to have a quick look and see if I can figure out who that is. I think the aircraft to our left is this one, which is, what's BER? What airline's that? They're going London Gatwick, and then the aircraft coming across the front is probably this one. Oh no, never mind. That's nothing for us to be worried about. So I don't know who that is. It's not coming up on VATSIM. Best place to look at it is probably actually on here. Yes, look. Nico, TVF22 Hotel Alpha. Yes, it was him, but for some reason his little white sort of counterpart aircraft on Volanta doesn't show up. It's really, really strange. And the aircraft to our left was BER 109, yeah. We're just getting up to 32,000 feet now, and we're still in cloud. You know, it's not exactly massive visibility up here, but it's not that we need to worry about that too much, to be honest with you. We'll be absolutely sound. We're going to get past 32 very soon, make another right turn as we go past Remba, and then there's the equal time point, so that's the middle of the flight that we're going to reach there in about 80 miles time. And then in terms of the top of descent, we're going to be looking, well, quite a while until then, aren't we? Yeah, 11:42, so we've gained a few minutes back with the high cost index that we're on, 282 miles to top of descent. What time is it now? It's 11:04, so about, what's that, 38 minutes? So I'm still going to have time to go get a drink and have a quick chill and so on when we get up to cruise. If my game doesn't freeze. Oh my word, that was a big freeze, wasn't it? It's still doing it. It's having some sort of meltdown. Checking my temps on my PC and it's fine. It's running at 60 degrees CPU, 58 degrees on GPU, so yeah, it's not working hard to catch up or anything. Don't know what that was. Did we turn the seatbelt signs off? We did, didn't we? Yeah. I did wonder. I thought I hadn't turned them off for some reason earlier. Okay, we are nearly at 35,000 feet now. Still getting the odd stutter here and there, which is really weird. Game is not behaving completely smoothly, but as you can see, we are now just above this blanket of cloud. So we've got a very high cloud base today, but we are luckily at a cruise level that takes us above it. So we're nice and comfortable up here at 35,000 feet. Should get Mach Alt Cruise any second now once the aircraft levels out. There we go, Mach Alt Cruise, everybody. We are now at cruising altitude, so I'm going to go get a drink and do my usual stuff, and yeah, be back in a few moments time and we'll begin our descent. Enjoy! Okay, welcome back into the cockpit. We're going to now start our descent preparation because at present we are only 21 miles away from it. So we need to get the information from here, get the destination data in. It's QNH 1013 down there, so we're going to pop that in on here. We need to go to there, 1013, which is standard pressure, so that's good, so we don't really need to queue that up. At present it is 11 degrees and it is variable at 2 knots on the wind, so not really any winds, 11 degrees. And we need to look at what the minimums will be and also the altitudes that we need to go down to on our approach in. 8,000 feet at Lurko, which we could probably put in very, very shortly. So we'll pop that in on here, 8,000 feet. There it is, that is in. And we're going to go for an open descent. We're going to start descending early now and get on with that. We're going to go ready for 1013. Standard pressure is 1013 anyway, so we're all right on there. Started our descent a little bit early, but I'd rather start it early than not. We're going to put the seatbelt signs on and we're going to get the aircraft into Geneva. And there we go, on the Akito, a long straight line before we get to Lurko, and then left, and then we go this way before we turn into Indus, or we continue on in a straight line. Let's have a look what that was. Aha, I messaged the guys at, at Neptune 11 Whiskey, and just to see if it worked, and it did. I just watched them land on a snowy airfield. It was apparently a runway, but yeah, they landed it on a completely dark, snowy runway. It was an amazing, amazing landing. But yeah, we have now begun our descent into Geneva, everybody. We have the airport just over yonder. Can't quite figure out where it is. I think it's just over here. We'll be in before we know it. We're going to go for auto brake low today. Ensure that we let the aircraft roll quite far down. It's quite a long runway at Geneva on 04. We'll set the flaps bit by bit as we go down, and then obviously arm the speed brakes when we need to. Not going to arm them this early just because of the fact that we might need them on the approach in. Descending fantastically at the moment, 3,000 feet per minute. Because we're so much below the profile, I'm going to put 8,000 in managed, so the aircraft will shallow out for a minute to lose the speed, and then it will start to lose the altitude as a result of that. It's reduced the descent to just 1,000 feet a minute now. One thing I learned as well, flying the 737 with the Velocity crew last week, just the other day, was converted speed on the way down on the approach. So you'd put in converted speed instead of your Mach number like this. You would put in converted speed in knots. So you would basically get told converted speed 280 knots, or they would tell you Mach 0.81 or something like that, just to make sure that you manage your speed on the way in, especially when there's a lot of traffic about. That's something that I'm not fantastic at on these descents, is managing the speed. So one thing I want to try and do more is get into a manual speed sort of management setting, let's say. So I'll be the one taking the speed from the aircraft. So when we make that turn at Lurko, I'm going to put the aircraft in a converted speed of 280 knots, then bring it down to 250 at Sovad. Okay, it's trying to get to 250 knots anyway now, so that's absolutely fine. We'll pull that and go 250. Scroll all the way down to that. There we go. 250 knots. The aircraft will continue to slow. Just checking what it's like on Volanta. There's an aircraft going nearby but not going into Geneva. We'll click on Geneva and just see what the live traffic is like. There's me, Florian coming in from here. Or are we going in on the other runway? Oh, what's this? Oh, aviation for real. We are now, friends. Yeah, we want runway 04. Let's just check on flight radar, because that's the next sort of fallback when there's nobody online and no ATIS. And by the look of it, they are using 22. Oh dear. Looks like I might have to change my plan here. Okay, so let's change this. We'll now have to figure this out. ILS 22, what can we get it on to? It'll be the Akita 3 Romeo, because we're still going via Akita. Oh dearie me. Select heading track first. We'll have to keep turning this way. There we go. And then we'll tell it. There we go. Okay, can it manage 8,000? We'll give it open descent 8,000.
Geneva traffic, Chanex 5 Sierra Golf. Realised my mistake with the runway changing approach to the Akita approach for runway 22 instead of 04.
Okay, that's something I need to get into the habit of checking when we obviously get up there. So we're going to go now direct. We want Sovad really. Sovad not there? There, direct Sovad. So we're turning right onto Sovad now. Hopefully we can get a managed descent now. Yes, we can. Beautiful. Alright, so we're still at 250 knots. Just got to try and manage the situation now. See what we can do. Airfield is directly in front of us. There it is over there. Wonderful scenery around here. What on earth is that camera? The aircraft is descending. And it is maintaining 250 knots. So that keeps me nice and happy. Let's go 220 knots just to be sure that we can get down where we need to. And then we can bring flap 1 in as well and manage it from there. Okay, so we are now flap 1 at 220 knots. We're going to go in a long straight line here. Got no nav intercept at the moment. Not quite sure why that's still up. We're going to put landing system on so it knows what we want. We're still on auto brakes low. All is fine and dandy. We're going to be going in on the ILS for 02. We did tell it that, didn't we? ILS 22. Yeah, cool. So now if we want to put this on here, we need to change that over to runway 22. Surprises me that they're using that in real life, but it is what it is. It's Akita 3 Romeo, and we're going to be ILS 22 by Sapra. We're now in a straight line until Sapra, basically. We're at 14,000 feet still. The aircraft should descend further now. And we're going to remain at 220 knots Although after my Dublin flight, when I was talking to Drew, he said flap 2 180 is what gets you down, not what slows you down. It can't guarantee that the aircraft slows down. So let's go 180 knots and let's get into flap 2 when the time comes. Wait for that orange line. Just waiting for that there. Flap 2. This should begin to help the aircraft descend ever further. What are we intercepting the ILS at? We are intercepting at 7,000. Barrow minimums are 1565, so we need to put that into the perf. Let's just check that the pressure and everything's still the same. 11/7, 12/7, variable at 2 knots. Okay, we've got 20 knots tailwind, which makes sense really, because then that will be a headwind, of course, when we get in there. So we're going to ask the aircraft now for 7,000 feet. This is why we need to use all of this straight line here at Sapra to make sure we lose height and lose speed. So we need to make sure that we're down to 7 before we go in there. I think 4,000 is the eventual ILS intercept. Yeah, it thinks we're going to get 7,000 after Sapra, so yeah. Now we're into manual, so it should beep 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 at us. We'll just tell it to maintain this current heading. Okay, we're below 10,000 feet now, so the landing lights are coming on. We'll re-bing bong the cabin and we'll check our preparation checklist. Flaps are coming down, speed brakes we're going to arm, just to be sure. Predicted wind shear is armed as well. We're back on the profile now, we've caught up. We're going to go below that profile just before we then turn direct to Sapra. Let's tell the aircraft to do that. It should now bank round to the right. Yep, cool. Okay, awesome.
Geneva traffic, Channix 5 Sierra Golf, turning onto the heading for waypoint Sapra, ready to establish for the ILS 22.
We're going to go out of standard pressure, into standard pressure, 1013. Constraints are 210 knots at Sapra. Is that, it's 210 knots minimum. We can now tell the aircraft managed descent to get us down to 7,000 feet there. After that we want to ask it for 4,000 feet, which we will do. I think I've managed this situation all right-ish, but obviously we'll have to see what Drew says. Drew likes to review my flights. But I've reduced the speed a lot here, and we're going to do 180 until we get 6 miles out. At present we are currently 22 miles out. Again, not a single word from the aircraft ahead of us. I know that, as I said earlier on in the flight, unless you really need to talk on VATSIM, you don't have to if there's no one behind you or whatever. I was worried about an aircraft behind us then, 2E1280, but they're going to Barcelona. We're getting right onto Sapra now, nicely below the glide slope, nicely below the profile. Okay, we're turning now. We're going to hit approach. We've got Cat 3 single, and we've got the glide slope. We've just intercepted it in time. The aircraft is going to do its best to catch up. I was a little bit late on that there. We're gliding at the end of the day.
Geneva traffic, Channix 5 Sierra Golf, fully established, ILS 22.
Okay, so we're on that glide slope, which will bring us in. We're going to wait till we're 6 miles out, and then we're going to put the aircraft in our VAP speed, bring the gear down and go flaps full. We've prepared it quite tasty here at 180 knots. VAP is 140 knots. We're going to make sure we've got everything on that we need. Seatbelt signs are on, strobe is on, landing lights are on, got runway turn-offs on, because why not? We'll get all of our lights on. Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed this one. This has been a bit of a tricky situation to manage here on the way in, but you know, it's good to have these curveballs thrown at us. It teaches me the lesson that whenever I go to start my top of descent, I need to definitely make sure that we're going to go for the right runway and change what the arrival will be, because at the end of the day, while you're up at cruise, it's easier to do than when you're already on the wrong arrival, as I've learned today. So going through 5,500 feet now, we continue on just under, well, that's about 13 miles to the runway. We'll take the autopilot out soon. Runway in sight, windows and texture glitch in sight. It's cool that we go over the water here at Geneva. Beautiful approach. We're just under 10 miles, so we'll put the VAP speed in, we'll go flaps full, and we'll bring the gear down. Aircraft is reaching its VAP speed very smoothly, going down to 140 knots. Still got the autopilot in, still got the auto throttle in, and we are prepared. Just over 5 miles.
Geneva traffic, Chanex 5 Sierra Golf, 5 miles to run, ILS 22.
Nothing else needs doing now really except the autopilot coming out. We'll stow that little checklist there. Make sure that I write down on my scratch pad that we've landed runway 22 instead of 04. That's exactly why I make sure that I don't write that down sooner. QNH 1013. We'll pick a stand. I wanted stand 42, double the stand number that we had on the way in, or the way out, should say. 1500 feet radio altitude has come in. Right in the middle of the glide slope, we have a 2-knot tailwind, which is why I'm so surprised that we're landing this way today. Okay, about 30 seconds and then we should take the autopilot out. It's going to be quite a late autopilot disengage, this one. We're not going to have too far to fly it up to the runway. I tend to take it out at the 1000 call. It just seems to be a bit of a theme that I follow. Okay, 5 seconds.
1000.
There it goes. Autopilot is out. Shush. Shush your mush. Barely touched the stick. And the aircraft is just floating in. It's a lovely little tailwind that. The aircraft is just leaning right the slightest bit, just to compensate for it. We're just going to keep rocking it back and forth a little
500.
bit. We're gradually falling below the glide slope, but we're okay on that diamond. It's telling me to put the nose down a little bit. Need to now lean it left slightly. We're not quite on the centre line. Falling below a little bit.
100 above.
1 white, 3 red. Back on that. Back on 2 white, 2 red.
Minimum
Continue.
100.
Very tasty on the centre line.
50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 5.
Oh, beautiful. Hold the nose wheel up for just a moment. Get the reversers on. We hugged that centre line, didn't we? Reversers on. We're not going to make this next high speed left. Maybe not even the one after that. Here we are. Reverser stowed, manual braking. Turning over to the left if the aircraft will allow.
Traffic Iberia 617, established.
She's understeering.
04, 4 miles south.
Geneva traffic, Chanex 5 Sierra Golf, runway 22 vacated.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I believe they're using the 22s. Caught me out on the way in. I was already on the arrival, but according to flight radar, it's on the 22s.
Okay, after landing checklist. Let me just...
Geneva traffic, Topswitch 32 Mike Alpha, holding short 22.
Yep, so it is 2-2. Speed brakes, we will disarm them. They are down here. Flaps will come up. Engine mode has gone into normal, it never came out of it. TCAS goes into standby. Put that on TA. Predicted wind shear comes off. And we'll have the APU master switch and start switch. We'll put the landing lights off, runway turn-offs off. Nose light goes to taxi. APU start. Beautiful. And then the strobe light goes to auto. Okay, we will we will taxi to stand 42, which is on one of these here. So we'll go this way, outer, and then link 3. And we vacated at Delta. Let's taxi in. Thanks again, Scott Green, for chartering. Really appreciate this. Had a really good flight today. Very, very good one. Interesting arrival.
Geneva traffic, Chanex 5 Sierra Golf, taxiing stand 42 by outer, link 3.
Let's just get it moving. There's a little tug aircraft, little tug vehicle thing on the ground there. Here is the arriving aircraft. believe Iberia. Ooh, steady, son. Is that an A319? Looks like it. Little Iberia 319. Gorgeous little thing. Tiny. Okay, we have APU available. We'll put the APU bleed on. I think we do that when we come to a stop, though. I've done that a little bit early there. Yeah, you do that when we come to a stop, but that's all right. Let's stand 4-3, so we need to give it a shove. Come on, Piggy.
Traffic Iberia 617, runway vacated.
Wow, he vacated that quickly. Okay, we're going to go to the
32
left.
Mike Alpha, lying up and waiting runway 22.
Turn in on link 3. But it's understeering today. She is not happy on the ground today. I think they need to check the power steering fluid on here. Oh yeah, we need to get GSX to get up at stand 4-2, don't we? Hang on. Route 4-2. Okay, we'll turn the taxi light off. Low frame rate airport, Geneva. I've always noticed that. It's quite intensive, this one. This is the RD presets, Geneva. There is our marshaller. You can see the GSX profile is working for this one. That is great news. It's giving us a wave.
David traffic, jet Doctors 32 Mike Alpha, taking off runway 22.
Safe flight.
Cheers.
Let's get it in. Screaming up to it again. Oh, nearly. 0.300, happy with that. Okay, so after parking checklist, the nose light comes off, the runway turn-offs came off, APU bleed has come on up there, yes it has. And we need to come down here now and turn the engines off. Engine 2 and then engine 1. That's some mighty noisy traffic behind us, isn't it? Seatbelt signs come off now, and then the beacon light comes off as well, which will start deboarding. And then if we go, oh, excuse me, I've done that a few times before, haven't I? We'll go up here and we'll turn off the fuel pumps in the centre. And that's us on the ground here at Geneva. Now I want to quickly show you something here, because this jetway came over and then buggered off again, and it said there are no passenger stairs. But what you can do, if the jetway isn't working through GSX, if you go up here to the ATC, you go to, oh hang on, yeah, you go ground services, hopefully it should say tune to Geneva ground on whatever, then request jetway connection, wait for it to ask, and then it should work. Just in case it doesn't ever do it via GSX. I don't know what it comes down to, whether I've just not disconnected them or turned them off in the GSX configuration or what, but yeah, that's the way to do it if you want your jetway to connect if it doesn't normally. But yeah, this is us on the ground at Geneva. A very fun flight today. Thank you so much, Scott Green, for chartering that. I hope you've enjoyed watching it and hope everyone's enjoyed watching it. There'll be more to come from 321 in future, I'm sure. We're not flying it next time though, that's all I can tell you for now. We're moving on to a different aircraft, so yeah, looking forward to the next flight. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode. Have a great day.